Hey there guys, welcome to another Battle Knights Battle Report, and we are back here with Kings of War. With me I have my friend Bennett. You might have seen him if you watched one of our previous reports in the bolt action game where me and him played the custom glider scenario.
Yeah.
So we're doing another 1500 points Kings of War game. I'm going to be using my Kingdoms of Men, and I'm going to be showing Bennett. This is his first game, so it's kind of a theme going on here where I'm showing everyone else how to play and I'm learning myself. We are using his Dwarfs this time.
Yeah, going to use my Dwarfs, give them a run out.
So just a quick thought, Bennett, give a show. What is your impression so far that you've heard of Kings of War? Because you've not played it yet, have you?
No, I haven't played Kings of War yet. I'm not, to be honest with you, I've not really read anything about it as much as a game. What I have read is obviously that it seems to be quite a bit smoother, quite a bit quicker than fantasy, because this is where my love for Dwarf comes from, essentially, as I'm quite a big fantasy player back in the day. So I've got a Dwarf army ready to go. But yeah, Kings of War, not really heard much about it, but I'm keen to give it a go and see how it plays, to see if it can rekindle my love for fantasy games.
Or mass battle games.
Yeah, mass battle games.
Alright, so we'll get your impression afterwards again. So thanks everyone also for commenting on the previous videos. I've learned a lot from all the mistakes we've made, so that's pretty cool. Thanks a lot for that. Alright, so we'll get onto the army composition in a minute, and then run you through again the top of each video. And then maybe later on, when we are more accustomed to the rules, we'll do proper videos. Right, thanks. Okay, so I just wanted to give you the layout of the battlefield, and then we'll go through my deployment and army. So we've got a little bit of a farmstead on the one flank of the table, a little bit of forest over there, a hill down there, and a little foresty hill on the end there. So we'll give you a scan of Bennett's, and then a scan of mine. Alright, so let's have a quick go through of my army. I've made a few changes to the last battle report. As you can see, I've got both units of knights again. They are one behind each other, as my deployment was a little blocked in by the amount of units I had this time. I've got the pole arms, and then my new unit of foot guard. And then just next to them, I have a unit of berserkers, or regiments. I keep forgetting, they're called regiments. And then my trusty horde of spear phalanx, 2 units of arquebusiers, 2 troop units, and then my general on a griffin at the back there. And behind that tree over there, the snowy tree, is my wizard. So that's my 1500 points. And I made a few changes, as I said. I've added in the foot guard, and I've also added the general on the griffin this time, dropping the general and the battle standard on foot. Not for any specific reason other than I just wanted to try it out. I was toying with the idea of making a horde of knights, but I wanted the sort of supporting units each other, as I found out thanks to you guys that obviously Thunderous Charge doesn't get a counter charge bonus. So I've put them on the same flank this time. What else? I split down the arquebusiers into 2 troop choices again, as opposed to a regiment choice, and I think that's roughly the gist of my changes. So that's my 1500 points laid out as such. Now we'll go to Bennett's.
Right, so this is my army then. As I say, got Dwarf, so coming from the fantasy background, I've sort of tried to stick with what I know, obviously not really knowing Kings of War, so I've gone for a trusty unit of, well, to me, they're handgunners, but for Kings of War, they are, what are they called? Iron Watch rifles. So I've got a troop of them, just to start off very standard. I've got my king. I've got a regiment of ironclad, flame belcher, standard bearer, horde unit of shield breakers, to me hammerers. Then I've got a organ gun. Just add iron belcher onto the front of that, and it's Mantic Kings of War. I've got another regiment of ironclad, another standard bearer, a cannon, iron guard, I believe they're called. Yeah, iron guard, so similar to me, iron breakers, and another unit of ironclad over there. So
and they're heading off to the McDonald's on the side there.
Yeah, they're all going to go and get the cows. So that's my objective of the game. No, it's a very sort of standard army, lots of infantry, few characters, few war machines splattered in just to
Combined arms, as they say.
Yeah, combined arms, just to give me a bit of variety. Just let me try out a few different things. The only thing I haven't really touched on, mainly because I didn't know how it worked, was magic. So I've got no sort of magic in the army, apart from a few magic items here or there. So I'm going to see how we go, and we're going to start the game.
Alright, Bennett won the first roll, or the roll for first turn, but he gave it to me, as he wants his dwarves to have more firing turns. So they're all sitting there snugly waiting for the Kingdoms of Men to advance. And advance I did. My turn went very simple. I advanced everything up, or on the doubled everything up. These knights shuffled across to that side so they could be flanked by the other knights. The foot guard took the lead in the front, just in front of the trees, with the berserkers moving through the trees and then the pole arms in just behind, as I wanted the knights more in front. They've gone with a really aggressive approach, as that I know Bennett, and he's really fluky but also really defensive, so he'll just sit there and wait for me to come to him. I moved my general on the griffin into the front of the trees with the wizard just behind him, and then I on the doubled my phalanx and both handgunner units, or arquebusiers, straight up the front. So shooting was very simple. My wizard cast fireball on that unit over there. I got 2 wounds through, as you can see by the 2 gems at the back there. I rolled 8 for their morale, so no problem there. And that's my turn done. So, lines pushed up. I'm going for the full frontal attack. By the way, we're only playing the kill scenario again. I know we've only played kill in all 3 videos I've done so far, but it's every time I'm playing with new people, as I am new, in that right, Brennan?
Yeah.
So I feel it's just easier to play the kill scenario and get used to the game mechanics and that sort of thing before we go on to more interesting scenarios. So there we go. Kingdoms of Men, turn 1, done. On to the Dwarfs, turn 1. Okay, so the Kingdoms of Men have struck back after the initial Dwarf barrage. My knights on the end there charged the Iron Watch, or Ironclad, or whatever they're being called, the Dwarfs at the end there. And these knights failed to do their wavering, otherwise they would have gone in as well. My infantry are positioned not really in any sort of strategic format, but the berserkers have come out of the forest, the Iron Guard have moved up, pole arms sort of sliding in between there. These knights did actually move a little bit backwards, because they failed their wavering test. My general on the griffin charged the organ gun, as I kind of fear that thing. And as you can see, we'll come back to that in a minute. These guys have moved up a little bit, and these guys stood still. That unit on the left was obviously wavered, so they did nothing on their turn. This unit fired on those bad boys over there, did 3 wounds to them, but I didn't do anything with the nerve test. The wizard put another wound with fireball on that unit over there. Nothing to worry about in the nerve test. As you can see, there's still a few chickens running around in those areas, so I got some more chickens coming my way. But in the combat phase, those knights did brilliantly. They put 9 wounds on the dwarfs over there, destroying and routing them. I chose to reform as opposed to overrun. That might come back to haunt me, but I got an idea what I'm thinking. So that's what it looks like on the right flank. My general took out the organ gun, no problem, and he overran D6 inches forward. So that's the state of the game at the end of my turn 2, which is Kingdoms of Men turn 2. So scan of the battlefield. As usual, I feel it's going okay. I'm a little concerned about that knight unit over there because it's taken quite a few wounds. I got my infantry moving up through the middle. I took a few more infantry units this time, so large blocks of infantry. Bennett has obviously just lost one of his units on the flank. And so provided that knight unit can hold on his turn, I think I might be okay. How do you feel, Bennett?
Yeah, I was a bit shocked as to how easy that unit of Ironclads fell apart, really. I know you did 9 wounds on them, so...
Well, it's like I said earlier before the game, it's like the game is a lot more brutal than you expect. Especially with when you're not actually taking figures off the models as wounds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to like units falling apart like that for from knights anyway, from fantasy and stuff like that. But I was expecting the dwarves, being what I'm used to with their heavily armoured and everything, to hold out for at least a turn, maybe, but they fell apart, and we have to see how we can recover.
Well, let's see your retribution for Dwarf's turn 2. So, what happened on the Dwarf turn 2? Well, Bennett, what are your thoughts?
I'm fearing that the dwarf line may not hold next turn. We'll see how we go anyway.
Well, this was the most interesting part to me, I set up the unit there thinking Bennett would charge me, because I would have definitely charged. I am that kind of guy. But Bennett, like I said before, is a lot more defensive than I am, and he, instead of charging, he backed up. So I don't have a flank charge on him anymore. I have a frontal charge. He's also, I think, did you back up that unit on the side there next to it?
No, I originally decided to do it, but then I decided to leave him there because you were in charge range anyway. So I've left him there for now to see what happens.
So he backed up that unit, and he's formed a line with these other regiments and hordes over here. And then the chickens of doom came running out again. 3 wounds on my Frit guard over here, and 5 wounds on this poor handgunner unit. That's right, they're still there though, because Bennett rolled double 1 for his nerve test. So they're not scared of chickens, even though 5 of their members have been ripped to pieces by the angry chicken of doom. Shooting wise, the cannon missed, thank God for that. But the flame belcher turned around there and fired on my general. My general flew too bloody far forward when I rolled through his overrun. I was only hoping for, average 3 or 4 maybe, but instead he got a 6. So he's out of position and got 2 wounds on him. What else did you do, Bennett?
Not a lot really. That was just sort of threw a few chickens at you, took a few pot shots, just moved up the line a little bit because.
Oh, the handgunners destroyed this unit. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, yeah, they destroyed their. Just basically moving up to try and receive the charge. Really, I think, because otherwise there's not going to be.
Bennett likes to receive.
Yeah. You've been receiving my cocks.
Oh dear.
Pun intended.
So there we go, that's the state of turn 2. Now I'm going to say this again, like I've said in all previous videos. I think I'm doing alright, yeah?
Yes, I won that! You said it.
So let's see what happens on my turn 3. Okay, so this is Kingdoms of Men turn 3, and quite an indifferent turn for me. I put a lot of damage on Bennett's army, but as you might see, they're still all there. What happened was, I multi-charged that big unit of dwarfs in the middle there. What are they called? The hammerers? Shield breakers. I charged them with my spear phalanx and my foot guard into their front. I also went with my knights into the front of the iron guard. My thinking there was, I had a choice of either that one or that one. I figured I could probably break this unit easier, but my knights are the only ones that can really put any damage on the iron guard because they're defense 6. So that was my feeling there. So I went in there, and then I got my support units. I moved the knight unit up. The pole arms and the berserkers are all second line of attack. And then my sturdy handgunners and the fireball wizard in the shooting phase put another 2 wounds or 3 wounds on these guys over here. But I rolled really poor for morale, for nerve this turn. I mean, they are fine. And then in the combat phase, I put 12 wounds on the 6 from each unit. My foot guard, by the way, have the +1 to hit item, so they were hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, and they put 12 between the 2 units. They put 12 wounds on the hammerers, but I rolled 3 for my morale for the nerve test, so they are sticking around, bounced off, and I put 8 wounds on the iron guard and rolled 3 for their nerve test as well, which means I bounced off an inch as well. So I bounced off, but like I said, I put a lot of wounds on me. That unit's taken 12, that one's taken 8. This one in the middle here has taken 3 or 4 from shooting, and this one's taken 6 as well. So all the dwarfs in the center have taken quite a bit of pounding. Oh, by the way, my general turned around to support next turn. I think I can take another flame belcher to the hit. Might not be able to take a cannon, but the cannon's not facing the right way, so that's alright. And then I've got support units, although that knight unit's badly wounded. So I've got a feeling I might have a few flank charges to deal with here, and then see what my support units can do in my turn. But then again, Bennett is very defensive, so he might not...
I'm definitely going to charge. I'm going to stand there and do nothing. Run out of chickens, for God's sake.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. I got a chance of winning that. There's no more angry chickens going on. Okay, so let's go into your dwarf turn 3. Okay, so this is dwarf turn 3, I believe. So what happened, Bennett?
Well, obviously I got a couple of counter charges in, and I've done the job. But my manoeuvring leaves much to be desired.
Well, yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? Because these guys charged in the front, these guys in the flank. The general came in as well. And there were some charges down here as well. The Iron Watch counter-charged with the flank, and the standard bearer went in as well, just for shits and giggles. So, as you can see, They both destroyed their counterparts. But there was a little shooting as well. That guy's over there. Took out the last remaining handgunner unit that I had. So.
I did a couple of wounds more on the general as well.
Oh yes, I popped a little bit. He put 4 more wounds from the flame cannon on there. But then rolled low for the morale test. So he's around. He's still there. Alright, so the big thing happened here in the middle. He absolutely obliterated that spearman unit. I mean, we should put like 20, I think, 20 wounds between those three.
Yeah, between those 3 units, but 20 wounds on them. So I think I needed to probably do all of that because my units are so heavily wounded. Any sort of counter charge on them will see them dead.
Yeah. But then, yeah, the thoughts were, how were you going to reform or counter? Because I've set up this juicy little second line, as you can see over there, to try and take. I've learnt this from my previous games. Well, obviously Bennett's not thought of this, and we were just talking about this off camera a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So what he did was he tried to move these guys up forward. They only went 1 inch, and these guys have reformed. And then over here, he's kind of sacrificed this unit by running them in front of the other unit at the back there. So, how do you feel that turn went? Took out 3 units.
Yeah, it went well in obviously the combat and the shooting and killed the units that I set out to kill, but I think I'm still at a very much a disadvantage purely because of the amount of wounds you've put on my units previous turns. I've tried to set up some potential counter charges next turn with this unit of warriors here, and obviously the Iron Guard over there, but I don't know what's going to be left after that, because this unit of knights, whatever they're going to charge, is probably going to die. I mean, this unit of Iron Guard had too many wounds on it to take a charge, so I've tried to gamble and use the smaller unit to, not smaller unit, the weaker unit to take the charge.
That's interesting. I've got a few decisions to make on my turn now. Most of them are about who am I going to kill.
Pretty much, I think whatever you hit, you should pretty much kill. So.
All right, let's get on to that. Okay, so this is Kingdoms of Men turn 4, and what an interesting turn that was. The knights charged into the flank of that dwarf ironclad, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, you're correct.
Ironclads. These halberdiers charged the battle standard bearer, and then they went into the flank. The general went into the rear, and these guys went into the front. I debated before charging into the front whether or not the wizard could take out this unit with its fireball spell. Clearly, as they're still there, that did not happen. Because in the shooting phase, I got 1 hit through and then I fell to wounded, so I didn't get a morale test on them. So it was a long shot anyway, but you know, it was worth a try. In the combat phase, I absolutely demolished that hammer unit in the middle there. I think it was
shield breakers.
Shield breakers. I mean, they took an extraordinary amount of wounds.
It was up to, what was it? 18, 23 plus the 16, so he was on like
40 odd wounds.
Yeah, just under 40 wounds.
So anything with double 1 would have got rid of them, which clearly they did. I just reformed the lines to try and take on the last remaining, because he's got a couple of characters here and these regiment here. But this is where the funny thing happened. I killed the battle standard bearer, no problem there. But the knights charged in, and I look at how many wounds that dwarf unit has taken.
You did 16 to them, basically.
Yeah, 16 wounds on the charge in the flank. Absolutely demolished them. I was thinking, right, that's it, they're dead. I've set up for just the last Iron Guard unit at the back there, and I rolled double 1. Double 1, that unit is not going anywhere. And just so happens that my knight unit is taking quite a bit of battering, so their counter charge is not going to be funny. Right, so that's the end of my turn 4, and you know, I keep saying, oh yeah, I'm looking really good, but it's still in the bag. I mean, Bennett could turn this around, which if he does, I'm going to lean over the table and punch him. What do you think, Bennett?
I'm going to dodge your punch.
Yeah. my arms are too short anyway.
It's going to be interesting. If I can roll pretty well, I reckon I've got a chance of taking out pretty much every single one of the units by a wizard if I get lucky.
Oh Christ, I don't like the sound of that.
So I'll see how it goes. You know.
Right. Well, you guys pause the video here and then comment below and say who's going to win. Also, comment any mistakes we've made. Alright, let's go to your turn 4. So this was Dwarf turn 4. It was quite a brutal turn, but as you can see, everything is still here. Wow. Bennett charged in onto the Berserkers with this unit. He got a flank charge with his battle standard. His general, King, charged my Griffin general. Those guys there charged my pole arms, and obviously the counter charged the knights. Shooting phase, that flame cannon over there put, I think, 6 wounds on my foot guard, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
The cannon, luckily enough, missed. He wavered them with when the flame cannon hit them, so they wavered. And then in the combat phase, he put 6 wounds on the berserkers between those 2 units, of which he rolled double 1. I think it was for the morale test, yeah. The general, he put 2 more wounds on the general. That means he's got 8 wounds on there, but only rolled 3 for his morale check. So that was really lucky for me. Over there, he put 7 wounds on the pole arms. Rolled really low for the morale check there as well. I think about 4, wasn't it? Something like that.
Pretty much every nerve test that I did was really low.
Well, this is one where I was really lucky, and when he put another 2 wounds on you, I think it's like 10 wounds on you.
11 in total, yeah.
And he only got, I think, 3 for the morale check, which wavered them. So, wavered, really bad, really bad, really bad. Oh, and this one's not really wavered. So, what did you think of that, sir? That was really unlucky, man. I
was hoping that was going to be my turn to turn things around or turn things in my favour. I don't think the game's over just yet, but I think I'm going to lose quite a few more units this turn, so unless there's more double ones coming out of you, I think this could be putting it way into your favour ahead of me.
I'll tell you what I've really enjoyed so far. I got my previous 2 opponents here, is Molo and John. We're going to be playing something else in a minute, but all 3 games I've performed so far have been really, really freaking close. And I'm not saying anything else because I might jinx it.
Every game has been really close to you winning.
Yeah.
Game wasn't close.
It was close until turn 3.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do my turn 5. So the mass murder continues. My turn was just a flurry of counter charges. These guys headstrong, got rid of their waver, counter charged the dwarfs. These guys counter charged their Ironwatch dudes. These guys reformed because they were wavered. My general, who's flying, flew past his king into the well, there's no rears and individuals, but he charged the standard bearer, and these guys counter charged these guys. Magic wise, I healed 2 wounds off my general, so he's down to 6 wounds now, and that was it for shooting. Combat, I caused only because I don't have, now that I've remembered, I don't have thunderous charge when I counter charge. I only caused 2 or 3 wounds with them, but it was enough to break them. These guys caused 2 or 3 wounds, but because the Iron Guard guys had already like 9 wounds on them, that was take care of them. So that flank is cleared. We've just got the cannon left there facing off against those 2 units. And then over here, my general caused 2 wounds on the battle standard bearer. I rolled 11 for his morale, which was enough to kill him. But then, of course, he's inspired. And then I rolled double 1. So he doesn't give a shit. And these guys, as you can see, I've taken a flurry of wounds. But I only rolled 3 for their morale.
Yeah, which only just got you up to 13, so it's not enough to waver them.
No, I really gutted. So there we go. That's the end of my turn 5. That's what the battlefield looks like at the moment. It's just a carnage of dead bodies everywhere. Bennett's left with this unit over here. He's still got a unit of handgunners on the hill, yeah. And then that cannon over there, and that cannon over there. So Bennett, take it away for your turn 5. Okay, so this was Dwarf's turn 5, and the brutality continues. Jesus, I'm so confused. I don't even know what happened. Right, these guys counter-charged the berserkers. As you can see, the berserkers are gone, because the battle standard also charged them in the flank, but that didn't really make that much of a difference. But still enough. I think it was something like 6 or 7 wounds, which was enough to rout them and get rid of them. Down here, these guys got flame cannoned, another 6 or 7 wounds on them, which was enough to get rid of them. These guys got shot by the handgunners on the hill, which I've ignored to my detriment. 2 wounds on them was enough to waver them. That's what that little skull means there. Cannon missed. And his lord charged into the rear of my, well, not the rear of my general, but he put 2 wounds on there, then rolled enough, even with the reroll, to waver him. So, wow, I'm really shocked at how devastating this is. So what I've got left is that knight unit over there, severely wounded. Those foot guards severely wounded. My general severely wounded, and my unwounded wizard. And Bennett's got a severely wounded Ironwatch unit. Are they called
Ironclad?
Ironclads.
Iron something, there.
Yeah, iron something. Yeah, there's 2 war machines which are causing it, and those handgunners are causing it.
Well, the cannon's doing nothing. It fired once in the first turn and hit, and the rest of the game it's just
missed. Yeah.
It's just keep misfiring.
Oh, okay. This is going Piet Tong. How do you think it's going, man? It's really in the balance,
It's
isn't it?
really close because I don't think there's enough to anyone to get wiped out. Because only one more turn now, is it?
Yeah, my last turn coming up now, and then it's yours. You still got some chances, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I've still got some chances, but does it come down to units destroyed at the end of the game? Is it?
Well, basically, you count up the points, and then
points,
yeah,
right, okay.
200 cruiser win.
Okay.
All right, let's do my last turn quickly and see how this goes. So, in the quickest of quick turns, my turn 6 is done. My game is done, so we see how it goes from here. What I did, the wizard cast fireball on that ironclad, iron watch, iron something.
The Iron Dwarfs.
Iron dwarfs. Got 2 wounds through, which was enough to kill them. The knights took care of the cannon up there. And then those 2 units were wavered, so they just removed their waiver tokens. So there we go. That's it. I've got 3 units facing down a gun barrel over there and some handgunners over there. Do you want to do your turn, Bennett?
Yeah, do it quickly and see how we go.
All right, let's be back in a minute. Okay, so the game has ended, and the dwarfs had their final turn. And as you can see, we haven't well, I've packed up because most of my units have disappeared. The flame cannon took out the knights. The
Handgunners took out
the foot guard. Was there something else?
No, that was it. Your general managed to stay alive, and so did your wizard.
That's right, yeah. The battle standard charged the wizard for a Hail Mary, and the king obviously charged the griffin, only causing 1 wound, which was massively lucky, so he stayed there. Otherwise, it was a potential that Bennett could have wiped me out. It's like completely tabled me.
Yeah, 4 units against 4 units.
Yeah, this was the long shot right here, though.
Yeah.
But as it happened, the game ended in a draw, as Bennett got about 160 points more than me.
Yeah, not very much.
With 200 or more to win. But I'm telling you what, I'm loving how aggressive these games are. Crikey. I mean, I thought at one point, as usual, every game I've played so far, I thought, you know what, I think I've got this. I can just maneuver through the last couple of turns, take out a few of your units, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the battlefield going, what the hell happened to my army? Where is everything? Everything just takes massive damage really, really quickly. What about you? What did you think?
Yeah, I think very similar. You know, I thought I was on the back foot for quite a lot of the latter turns, but obviously managed to sort of turn it around a bit. Purely through some good dice rolling on your behalf, because you rolled a couple of double ones in there somewhere, which kept my units in the game. Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's very, very, very brutal game, very aggressive, quite quick pace. Not what I was expecting it to be like, but obviously not having really read much of the rules, I was quite pleasantly surprised, I would say.
It's a lot more tactical than you think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot more tactical. It's not quite as, I would say, in depth as fantasy was, but I think that in a good way, and it speeds up the game. You know, it's more fluid. You know, as you've said before, there's a couple of points that I wouldn't like, which was not taking off models, which is actually, now that I've done it, is actually better, because I don't have to faff around counting how many models I've got left to attack and so on and so forth. Plus the manoeuvring is a lot more straightforward, I would say. Shooting is obviously doesn't seem as efficient, being a dwarf handgunner army normally, but you know, it's still potent enough to do enough damage.
Well, the shooting is what brought you back into this game, I think.
I mean,
that flame cannon, I underestimated it completely.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's got the short range and the fact that it can move and fire is to its advantage. You know, a lot of people would probably ignore it, but now you know how it works. The Griffin would go for it straight away, near enough.
Yeah, I went for the organ gun first because I thought the organ gun was more of a threat.
You're used to my organ guns from fantasy, absolutely obliterating you.
Yeah.
But
I like to notice that this is my 4th game, my first draw. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So our record is no wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats. But I'm still loving it. I'm really still enjoying it. It's a really fast paced. One of the things, like you were mentioning about the models thing taking off, one of the other things I was a little concerned about when I read the rules was that you don't really do anything in anyone else's turn. You know, I don't even have, because other than checking that you're not cheating, I don't really even have to be in the room when you take your turn.
No.
But like Molo pointed out to me when we played it, the turns are so fast and so quick.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what I'd agree with. The turns are definitely very quick. I mean, you know, at the start of the game, yeah, it's not amazingly quick, but as you start losing units, the game just speeds up so much.
And still coming to terms with the fact that, as a veteran Warhammer player, some of the tactics and strategies you would use are slightly different as well. Like I was saying, I was using the second line thing today, which is something I never really used to use in Warhammer. But in this game, because units just disappear into the ether, it opens up lanes for you to charge and do different things.
It's definitely something that when I play this game again, because I will play it again now. I think now that my initial reservations about it have been quashed essentially. I will play it again. It's definitely something I would consider doing, having a second line, because you could have a couple of cheap units at the front to soak the charges, etc., and then have all your elite stuff at the back. Which I think if I'd have played this game differently, I think I would have done that. I would have had the ironclads at the front, and then maybe the shield breakers and the iron guard at the back, just to countercharge sort of thing.
Well, there you go. That was another game done. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will hopefully be back soon with another. I know I'm playing James on the 6 against these ogres, I think. So then you'll see another different army against me. But James is a veteran player, so I'll have to pull out all the stops there. Oh, by the way, how did you feel about the chicken bombs?
Yeah, I really like the chicken bombs, actually. I think it was one of the rules that I spotted straight away in the Dwarf book, well, the main rule book or whatever. Just brings a bit of flavour to it. Coming from a fantasy background, I'm used to having lots of shooting, and having that ability to have those dogs, mastiffs, whatever, is quite a nice little thing, and it does have the potential to do a lot of damage, especially against troop units.
Yeah, the smaller unit, like the handgunner unit, took an absolute pasting from one friggin' dog.
If you've got any, I don't know, some sort of, as I say, I don't know the full thing, but any sort of like skirmishy type units or small units, those sort of dogs will eat them up.
Well, there you go. I've got another person involved in Kings of War.
Definitely.
Thanks for watching, guys. So cheers.